What's going on, legends? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're jumping into the patch notes for the new update version 1.38, the season 4 update for Warzone specifically. Obviously, we have this for both Cold War and Warzone, but the patch notes we're jumping into today are specific to Warzone. So we're going to go ahead and go through it, see what's coming here in season 4, see what we can expect for weapon changes, because there's definitely some coming down the pipeline, and I think overall we're going to be somewhat excited about some of these. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the playlist. They're going to be adding Verdansk BR Resurgence mini trios, Verdansk plunder quads. They're obviously going to be removing the blood money quads, as well as Resurgence duos on Rebirth Island, which I don't care about. And then they're going to be keeping Resurgence quads because they know that we love that over on Rebirth Island. We're going to be getting the Groundfall event, Groundfall, the limited time event. Find and secure the new sat link stations to triangulate the location of a falling satellite in Verdansk. Loot the fallen satellites to score exclusive loot and cash rewards during the game. The objectives for this event will reward you with items such as emblems, calling cards, and a satellite weapon charm, as well as some XP. Complete all the challenges from either Cold War and Warzone, and you will receive an epic secondary weapon blueprint. Of course, we're going to be getting a new battle pass because we do have a new season, 100 tiers. The same things that are available in Cold War are also available in Warzone, with the same kind of grind behind it. For our map, we have some red doors that have appeared in Verdansk. The downtown tower is now under new management. The new gulag is hijacked. The plywood recreation of the yacht's central area will be replacing the current standoff gulag. We're getting the new satellite POIs added, which includes the Kravnik farmland right in the middle of some poor farmers' crops. One satellite has crashed. Block 18, close to the one sleepy village near the salt mines, lies another satellite. Block 16, deep within the Gora riverbed near the airport control tower, we have another satellite. And then we also have one on Gora Bridge spanning to the Gora River between downtown and the fire station. This bridge saw a direct impact from another down satellite. Now we're going to be jumping into the real important stuff. For general, they're adding 120 hertz support for the PS5. It does, of course, require an HDMI 2.1. Down players who disconnect will now provide a kill credit and drop loot. This includes players who disconnect during a finishing move. Progression challenges, the font size for challenges and the descriptions have been increased. They have also, with the month of June being Pride Month, they've included 8 new Pride flag calling cards that you guys are going to be able to basically get for free. It sounds like they're going to automatically just show up in your barracks and you'll be able to represent Pride this month. For gameplay, we're getting the new vehicle, the dirt bike. Loot that spawns across Verdansk has been adjusted as follows: the C58 from BOCW and the MG82 from BOCW as well can be found in the loot pool. The combat bow kill streak has been added to the loot pool. The self-revive spawn rate has been reduced, so you're not going to be finding as many self-revives out there in the wild, but you can also now buy the combat bow, so we're going to see how that goes. A small change to melee with the 1911 starter handgun. It now requires 3 hits to gain that finisher damage bonus instead of 2. This change will increase the number of melee hits needed to down somebody with this weapon who is at 200 HP by 1 additional hit. Snapshot grenade reveal duration increased from 1.25 to 2 seconds, making those snapshot grenades that much better. The hit enemies now with the snapshot grenade will also be revealed to your squad. Custom mods have been enabled for Cold War weapons. This is finally something I think a lot of us have been waiting for. You will now be able to save up to 5 custom weapon builds as blueprints. Some thoughts on the specialist token. They're going to be possibly bringing it back. However, the ease and consistency of its acquisition was obviously a problem. Ideally, drop locations are allowed to be chosen dynamically based on several factors like circle location, info route, and player preference. When we introduce an exclusive powerful item that can only be attained to one location, it may have a warping effect on gameplay that can diminish early game strategy, so they would like to ensure that the excitement surrounding opening caches and completing contracts, no matter where you are on the map, is going to be kind of increased. So they kind of want to make it not so limited to one place. It sounds like they kind of want to broaden that area. So we got some bug fixes. Fixed some instances of dev error 5573 related to using the Carve 2. Updated challenges that refer to the quarry instead of salt mine. Fixed an issue where players' down movement speed would remain as a slowed state after being partially revived by a teammate. Fixed issue where the tactical rifle Charlie from Black Ops Cold War, causing some operators to have their heads disappear when using tactical equipment. Fixed an issue where the gas closing in voiceover was played on infill for Resurgence Trios playlists. Fix an issue where scavenger contracts would sometimes spawn inside the bridge near stadium. Fix an issue where the plunder contracts were not properly showing contracts, instructions, and rewards. Fixed an issue where muzzles on the FAR 83 weapon icon were misaligned. This was specifically when you were looking at it in the loadouts, or where you edit your loadout, I should say. Fix an issue where players could survive a finishing move if they had started using an ascender. Fix an issue where ping on enemy players would disappear and no audio would play. Fixed an issue with the lighting during an infiltration sequence of Rebirth Island. Fixed an issue in the corners of one of the buildings in Rebirth Island that caused a sun glare effect when GPUs run at high temperatures. Fixed several missing collision map exploit issues in Rebirth Island. So they did some UI fixes as well. Friends list now has improved responsiveness, added ability for players to favorite up to 14 people, added the ability to filter operators by favorites and sort according to faction, added the ability for players to preview skins from the customization menu, accessible only for unlocked operators, added the ability to allow players to play again with team, allowing them to stay connected with players who aren't in their party. For weapons, we got new weapons from Cold War, of course, the M82 light machine gun, which will be available on launch week, the C58 assault rifle, also available on launch week, the nail gun SMG, also available on launch week, the baseball bat melee, available on launch, OTS-9 submachine gun at some point during the season, as well as the mace melee weapon at some point during the season as well. 4 weapon changes. Let's go ahead and dive into it. I'm going to go through them as quickly as we can. There is a lot of things changing, and we will be able to move through and get through the rest of these patch notes. So first things first, we're going to be looking at assault rifles. The CR56 AMAX got a little bit of a change. Upper torso damage multiplier decreased from 1.2 to 1.1. The Groza from Black Ops Cold War, minimum damage increased from 18 to 23. Upper torso damage multiplier increased from 1.1 to 1.2. Lower torso damage multiplier increased from 1 to 1.1, and in maximum damage range decreased by 12. So the assault rifle Golf from Modern Warfare, which is the Odin, I believe, the neck damage multiplier was increased from 1 to 1.5. The upper torso damage multiplier was increased from 1 to 1.2. For the XM4 from Black Ops Cold War, the neck damage multiplier was increased from 1 to 1.5. For handguns, the AMP-63, maximum damage increased from 30 to 33. Second damage range increased by 14.3%. Upper torso damage multiplier increased from 1 to 1.1. Extremities damage multiplier increased from 0.9 to 1. Head damage multiplier increased from 1.4 to 1.3. For melee, the ballistic knife projectile velocity was increased by 25%. The next neck damage range multiplier was increased from 1 to 1.3. The upper torso damage multiplier was increased from 1 to 1.23, and our move speed wasn't going to be increased by a solid 1.3%. For shotguns, big nerf to the Street Sweeper. I cannot wait for this, and I think you guys are going to be excited as well. For the Street Sweeper, our maximum damage range was decreased by 24%. Our second damage range decreased by 18%. Our third damage range decreased by 7%, and our move speed decreased by 1%. For sniper rifles, Sniper Rifle Charlie from Black Ops Cold War, which I believe is the M82, bullet velocity was increased by 7.7%. Upper torso damage multiplier was increased from 1.1 to 1.25. Lower torso damage multiplier increased from 1 to 1.15. For the Swiss K31, base optic functionality was improved, as well as base reticle was updated. For Submachine Gun Alpha, which is the MP5 from Modern Warfare, the upper torso damage multiplier was increased from 1 to 1.1, as well as the maximum damage range was increased by 10%. The Bullfrog in Black Ops Cold War, Iron Sight's ADS position was adjusted. The KSP-45 maximum damage range increased by 16.6%, as well as the extremities multiplier was increased from 0.9 to 1. For the Milano 821, maximum damage range increased from 34 to 36, minimum damage range increased from 25 to 30, maximum damage range increased by 23%, upper torso multiplier increased from 1 to 1.2, that lower torso from 1 to 1.1, and the extremities from 0.9 to 1. So it seemed like an insane buff to the Milano. We're going to have to get our hands on to see exactly just how insane that actually is, but I'm looking forward to trying that out here in Season 4. Submachine Gun Echo from Modern Warfare, which I believe is the PP Bison. Maximum damage range was increased from 34 to 35, as well as maximum damage was increased from 34 to 35, as well as the extremities damage multiplier was increased from 0.9 to 1. For tactical rifles, the DMR-14, the recoil magnitude was decreased, so it looks like the DMR could be back. For attachments, there's quite a few changes here. Barrels for combat recon for snipers. We have the Pellington 703, bullet velocity increased from 42.5% to 47.5%. For Sniper Rifle Charlie, or the M82, bullet velocity was increased from 42.5% to 50%. For the Swiss K31, bullet velocity was increased from 43 to 50. From the LW3 Tundra, bullet velocity was increased from 42.5% to 44. And then the ZRG 20mm, bullet velocity was increased from 42.5% to 43%. The Ranger on the assault rifles now increases bullet velocity by 50%, now increases vertical recoil control by 15%, and now increases hip fire spread by 20%. The takedown barrel now increases effective damage range by 35%, now increases horizontal recoil control by 15%, as well as now increases hip fire spread by 20%. Reinforced heavy or match grade now increases bullet velocity by 25%, effective damage range by 17.5%, horizontal recoil control by 7.5%, vertical recoil control by 7.5%, ADS move speed by 10%, sprint speed by 2.5%, ADS speed by 3%, as well as hip fire spread by 25%. And then the Task Force or Spetsnaz or the Mil Spec as well. For the light machine guns or assault rifles, bullet velocity was increased by 50%, effective damage range increased by 35%, horizontal recoil control by 15%, vertical recoil control by 15%, ADS move speed by 20%, sprint speed by 5%, ADS speed by 6%, and hip fire spread by 30%. It is basically a huge boost to the assault rifles and even slightly the LMGs as well, for these to be changed. These barrels needed this update. I think this is one of the best changes we have going into Season 4, and I'm really looking forward to how weapons are going to perform going forward from Cold War. The optics, most BO Cold War reticles have been updated. The Axle 3 times, the Royal and Cross 4 times, and for our underbarrels, the Bruiser grip got a change. Aiming stability increased from 10% to 19%. For operators, the Rose skin has received material updates to increase the visibility, so they're finally nerfing that rose skin that so many of us love to use and so many of us appreciate out there in the Warzone. And then for new operators, we're going to be getting Jackal, Sala, and Weaver. It looks like Sala and Weaver throughout the season. And then for downloads, you guys can expect the Warzone update to be 11 gigabytes on PS5, 11 gigabytes on PS4, 11.2 on the Xbox One Series X or S, 11.2 on the Xbox One, 12.3 gigabytes for PC if you only have Warzone, and 13.5 if you have Modern Warfare and Warzone installed. But that's going to wrap things up for us here. That's the patch notes for this new Season 3, but that's the patch notes for this new Season 4 update, 1.38 to be exact. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are all excited. If you guys enjoyed this video anytime or found this helpful in any way, make sure you show your support for the channel by going down below and smashing that like button. Let's go ahead and throw an easy goal of 30 likes on today's video, as well as if you guys want to find your way back to the channel for more Call of Duty content, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button alongside that notification bell so we don't miss you in future videos. Appreciate you guys for all the support in today's video, all the support on the channel, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.